All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to the first ever podcast of the Spin Zone podcast, a Beyblade X podcast. I am Cake Eater 1991, and I am joined by three co-hosts, and I'm gonna have them introduce themselves. We're gonna kind of go off a couple questions. So if you guys want to start off introducing yourselves, and we can kind of go off of the questions later on. So whoever wants to go first, go ahead and take the reins. Don't jump all at one time. All right, Martin. Yeah, yeah, all right. So, do you still want to see Beyblades as a more serious sport, and possibly because it's been rumored that the Beyblades go into the Olympics? Okay. Sounds like we gotta. Oh, okay. So that was all my bad. Your audio was not going through. So if you want to kind of go through everything that you just said,
Oh,
yeah, that's my apology. Hey, that's yeah, that's my bad.
okay. So I'm Martine. I'm Blader named Schmack, and the last event that I went to was about 5 months ago, and I got second place. And I haven't been able to attend any Beyblade tournaments since then, but I still kind of been following Beyblade. I really like what Takara Tomy is doing with how they want to make it a sport and they're kind of pushing for that. And I follow like what's going on overseas and stuff with like everything going on in Japan with their like leagues. They have like YCS leagues, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm following that meta over there and kind of translating it over to our like Western metas.
Yeah, and as I was saying, like having Beyblades in the Olympics, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that would be great. It'd be kind of weird to see, but I mean, I feel like people that don't know about Beyblade would be like, why are they doing that? Like, how explain to me how that's a sport?
I
And
mean,
it's like it's all wrist.
yeah, almost really anything could be in the Olympics.
As long as it's a competition, I mean, I couldn't see why. Especially with them trying to push it as a sport.
Yeah, that would be wild to have Beyblades in the Olympics. I don't know how they would go about that. You got to go to so many tournaments, but it's probably literally the same thing as if you're going for gymnastics or luge or any of the other so many sports uh that they have going. But it'd be interesting to watch though, that's for sure.
Yeah, I just assumed that each country would have its own kind of that wanted to participate at least have its own kind of governing body, and they would figure out what they were going to do to pick their team. Whether it was local events or regional events, national events, and then you just go from there, like you said, just like you would with any other sport.
Yeah, it would be absolutely wild. Definitely different. That's for sure. And some people wouldn't really consider Beyblades as a sport, but anything that's really based on a competition could be technically a sport. That's my thoughts on it personally. Everyone else has their own thoughts on that, but definitely would be very interesting just to even hear that it did get officially into the Olympics.
I mean, we saw, what did we see at the last Olympics? Didn't they have a
Oh,
breakdancing competition or
breakdancing.
something?
Yeah. I forgot about all
And
the breakdancing shit.
yeah, and those types of things, to be honest, I would consider Beyblade almost more a sport than something like breakdancing or like figure skating, and not because of the athletic prowess involved. I do think most people would agree that it does take more to figure skate or breakdance than it does to rip a Beyblade, but those things are all subjective, right? Like judges view them and give them a score, whereas at least Beyblade, there's an objective winner or loser, even if you have to refer to video footage once in a while to figure out who that is.
Oh, yeah, you guys already know like the videoing for that would have to be so intense cuz we've all been at least in a match or at least have seen a match where it has to go down to the very last frame. So the Olympics could definitely pull that off.
Absolutely.
All right, who else would like to go next on their little introduction about themselves?
I'm Chad the VA. I'm 31 years old. The last tournament I was a part of in Beyblade, I managed to get to sixth place by. I lost my fifth place by just a hair.
Oh
But
man.
I've been in Beyblade since the Metal Fight series started on Cartoon Network. I used to watch that all the time. Um, and I am the biggest reason why so many countries are having such a hard time finding Medio El Dragos.
Oh, why do you say that?
I be buying them up.
Oh, okay. So you just got a whole warehouse full of Dragos, huh?
I have one of each Medio.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, everyone has their own kind of preference on their own bays that they like to buy. And if you like Drago, or if you like Shadow Shinobi, or even Horn Rhino, or whatever, everyone has their own preference.
Exactly, exactly.
Even though I don't think anyone is purposely going out buying all the Shadow Shinobis or the Horn Rhinos, but hey, each their own.
No, I think they're just doing that with the tide whale recently.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
let's not get started on that, man. I've been going to so many stores just to try to find one just for Elevate. It's ridiculous.
If you take a look at eBay, the tide whale scalping is very, very real.
Oh yeah, I looked at that just a couple days ago, and it's like $40 just for a sealed product. That's wild.
Yep, which is why I'm glad none of my Beyblades need Elevate, at least not the ones in my deck.
Yeah, it's
So I'm very lucky because when the Well Wave booster came out, I bought two, and I got two of the prize bays. So then I had two elevates for a while, and I was
hey,
just like, all right, well, I only really needed one because I only have one Cobalt Dragoon, and so I'm like, all right, yeah. What I would do honestly is I would just get the two of the Whale Waves boosters rather than paying $40, and then just get two prize bays. Just get lucky.
Just get lucky. I
Just
love
just
that.
get lucky is crazy.
yeah, that's a wild take. Yeah, buy a $20 booster just in hopes a 33% chance or whatever the odds are. Just in hopes that you get elevate. That's wild.
Speaking of that, and I don't actually know the answer to this, and I'm assuming one of you guys do, but is the seating actually different for prize bays versus the rest of the bays in a particular random booster? Like, are they all seated at the same percentage, or are the prize bays seated at a lower
Ooh,
percentage?
that's honestly a really good question.
To my knowledge, at least, it's all the same. But I would not be surprised if the prize bays are slightly lower in percentage.
I agree.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there was an actual difference in the percentage of seeds you get for each bay per random booster, or if the prize bay was more of like, oh, this is what Takara Tomy thinks is the hot one, you know? So
Yeah,
that's interesting. I never really thought about it, but you guys were talking about it and just popped in my head.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
honestly a really good question.
I'm not sure if anyone's done like the data work on that when it comes to. I'm pretty sure the random chance is all the same, but then I don't know. I did need to buy three whale waves to get two of the prize bays because the first one I ordered was the black whale wave, and I was like, dang it. So then I had to get two more. So I see your point on that, but I haven't been really going out and like going into the wild and looking for the newer releases because I kind of took a break from like searching for them. But if I see any well waves out in the wild, I'll probably pick them up and then see if any of you guys need them.
Oh, dude, what a straight G. I would love one. I was actually planning on going out to a couple Walmarts later on, probably today, and seeing if any of them have any.
I
I
wish you
think
good luck. I've been to quite a few recently, and whatever Beyblades aren't destroyed and ripped out of the package are always like the ones that people aren't going after in the first place.
Yeah, I just went to a Walmart a couple days ago, and there were so many bays with ripped packages and stuff. Like just all the bits and knickknacks were all just taken out of them. Like, come
I
on.
saw a picture posted recently by someone who went to a Walmart and they went to get like the CX wizard or the CX, yeah, the CX wizard so that way they could get the low orb. They go to the package and it's opened up, and the only thing missing from the package was the only reason to get that Beyblade being the low orb bit. And it's like, oh, these people are dirty. You are dirty for doing that.
So I got
listen,
Wayward up in YouTube right now, and he says that he just saw two of them when he was back in Wisconsin. Like, man, that's wild.
so I've seen the whale wave like out and about, most commonly at GameStop. Actually, that's where I would check if I were you. I check a couple GameStops.
Oh, they got them at GameStop too?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
And the big thing about GameStop is sometimes what'll happen, especially at the ones that like certain GameStops are better than others for Beyblade. Some of them just have like a couple rows. Some of them have like a whole little area. And a lot of times what'll happen is they don't actually have room for all of them on the shelf. So you
Oh.
might be able to ask the clerk if you don't see one, hey, do you have any of this particular one in back?
Oh. Yeah, that's not a
Whereas
really.
Walmart or Target will just put them all out generally at once, and then obviously the scalpers roll through and get all of them, you know?
Ah.
But actually, yeah, I've personally found several at Walmart's, and then or not Walmart's, GameStops, and then the other day, like 2 days ago, my buddy just sent me a picture when he was at a GameStop, and they definitely had a whale wave or two, so they're definitely out there at GameStops right now.
Do you know what GameStop it was?
That's a good question. I will ask
Mm.
him when we are not live and see if I can get that information
Hey,
and
no
see
worries.
see if he
Hopefully.
looked into it and if there are any still there. But Walmarts are tough. I've only seen one Walmart that's had Whale Wave in stock while I've been there. They had six of them. And someone's probably going to call me a prick for this, but I bought all six because I have quite a few buddies who needed one.
Hey, as
And
long
I didn't want them to pay $40 on eBay. You know what I'm saying? So I just charged them whatever I paid, and they all have one now.
yeah, you're not
I wouldn't
scalping
call
them.
that a prick move.
Oh,
You're helping out your friends. If you try to resell them to random people for double the price like the scalpers, then you're a prick.
oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's fair. I just
Hunt.
try to look out. I did the same thing with the Reaper CX. I picked up a few extras because I knew a few buddies wanted those, and now I think they're pretty easy to find. But when they were first hitting WalMarts, it was real hit and miss. And if people had picked them over, it was always the Reaper because it was the only one you had to get in a random booster in Japan. So
That is definitely one CX Bay that I was looking at getting just because I think it looks really cool and I like that whole Hell's Hammer line. But I like haven't seen it. I think I'm gonna wait for when they go on clearance because at some point Target puts them out on clearance and then that's when I'm gonna just go buy them all.
I'll tell you this though, if you've got Tyranno Beat or you got Hover Wyvern, and you want them to hit so hard that not even Wizard Rod on 160 can recover, that kick bit is your ticket.
Oh yeah, kick is so good.
And Kick is on the Reaper. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yep, kick
Yeah,
is on the CX Reaper, and it's basically a hexagonal attack bit. So it has a little bit of defense while having stamina and offense to boot. So it's one of my favorite bits to use, honestly.
especially yeah the newer bits. Absolutely, it's a good bit. Um, so last but not least, go ahead and introduce yourself, my man.
All right, good enough. My name is Vile, or I guess my actual name is Dan. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use this word on a PG-13 podcast, but I'm going to risk it. I'm probably the Beyblade virgin um, out of everybody. I actually just got into it. I don't know, let's call it 3 months ago, maybe now. And I had never played Beyblade as a kid. I don't have that same nostalgia that I'm sure most people, well, all of you guys probably, and a lot of people listening have. It just came up. A couple of my buddies were like, "Oh, look at these Beyblades or whatever." And the first ones they showed me, one of my buddies had gone up and picked up a couple, little burst like lots off of like Facebook Marketplace. And I was looking, I'm like, these look really boring. Like this seems kind of lame actually. And then sure enough, um, they were looking into it and found out that the burst wasn't the newest thing anymore. So they had gone out and bought a few X Beyblades.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, okay. And I was watching that and I'm like, okay, these are actually pretty lit. These like do something. And I was still kind of like him and Han on the fence about it. And then finally I went out one day. It was actually, God, it was, yeah, it must have been like a Sunday or something. And I was just kind of like cruising around and I just started buying Beyblades. I think GameStop was having their buy one, get one 50% off. And I literally went to like 6 or 7 GameStops and a couple Targets and Walmarts and bought pretty much the entire Hasbro release line that was out at that point
Oh
in
my
one day.
god.
Yeah, I think I had to source a couple of the double packs from like a website or Amazon or something like that. But other than that, I bought pretty much every Hasbro release in one day. And then since then, I've been, buying the newer releases straight from either Bays and Bricks or sometimes overseas suppliers, and actually buying a lot of like lots or collections, I don't know what you want to call them,
Yeah.
from Japan, Mercari, and Rakuten Rakuma through like Zen Market and Bai and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I got a lot of Beyblades now, like a lot, a lot.
Hey, honestly,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'm
Definitely using like Bai and Zen Market if you're trying to get like Japanese stuff or like those harder to get like prize bays. I definitely was able to find on Bai an Arrow Pegasus for like pretty cheap, and I was able to talk with the guy on the website and kind of be like, "Hey, I'm trying to get this. I'm from the States. You think you can like do me a solid?" He's like, and then he was texting me like, "Yeah." And then he had like other stuff that he was selling. So if you use Bai and or Zen Market, just keep that in mind that it's not an automated system. You can talk to someone. Like sometimes people that own shops in Japan put stuff on Bai, so you can like talk to them and they can kind of get you like a deal.
man, I never even thought about using Buy E.
I can confirm as someone who has bought quite a few things from Bai, especially like Metal Fight Beyblade. Back when it was much harder to find them in the States, though Bai's the way to go.
Huh. Well, that might be another because I personally look at like Poshmark and Mercari and Facebook Marketplace and find some every once in a while, but then you got some of them are that are way overpricing what they got, and like I'm not paying $40 for 3 bays in a stadium. That's just a Hasbro stadium. But absolutely. Uh, Actually, I forgot that I need to introduce myself. So my name is Cake, uh, short for Cake Eater. I've been playing Beyblades myself for about 6 or so months now, and I think I did almost the same thing as Vile, going on Marketplace, looking at Beyblade stuff, and actually I bought Beyblade Burst thinking that was the thing because I've been playing TCGs for years, and I just got kind of bored with them honestly. So I wanted something that was a lot more, I guess, entertaining, a lot more funner. So 6 months later, here we are, and I've been loving this journey ever since.
As a fellow TCG player, I understand your pain. I used to be a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, but then I decided I wanted to play a game that's actually interactive.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh, that just got way too big into pay to play. Like you had to get pay stupid money just for the good cards just to win. Pokemon for a little bit, Digimon, the brand new Digimon TCG for a little bit, Lorcana for a little bit, but Beyblade is probably where it's at for hobbies for me, at least for now. But we
I
will.
mean, even as Beyblade being like level to entry for like, okay, you only need three Beyblades realistically. They could be your favorite ones. They don't need to be the meta Beyblades, and then you just have a stadium, and you can get all that for like $50. And like every other TCG, it's like $100 or more. Either for a deck or for that chance to get like a booster box to then try to get the rare hit card to like resell it to try to get more cards. So it's definitely a more affordable hobby. And I mean, at least for me personally, like I play Pokemon too, and I'll sit down and I'll be calm the whole time. But there's something about when it's in a competitive Beyblade setting where I'll like rip my Beyblade and I'll be so anxious, like waiting for the result. Like I'll feel that my heart pounding, like, oh my god, like is it gonna be a clutch? Because I've seen clutch moments before. I've had like older some of my past runs recorded, and I'm just like, how did that happen? Like I've had one time where the bay got up to the top ring of the X stadium and then was still spinning and outspun the bay, and then when the other bay stopped spinning, my bay landed back in the stadium still spinning. I don't know. I love Beyblade X because it creates those crazy moments that almost feels anime like.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's a lot more entertaining than just sitting throwing down cardboard against more cardboard. So I'm really enjoying this hobby. Right from the first rip, I was like, man, this is fun. I don't
I'm
know.
in total agreement with you guys. Like, I also came from a long, long history of trading card games, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, the Digimon one that was mentioned. Just, I mean, and many, many others over the years. And there's just something about like when I let a bay rip and I'm watching it battle my opponent's bay, like I'm watching, like I'm focused on what's going on. It's when my opponent's taking their turn in Magic, bro, I'm taking a nap. Like it's very different.
Yeah, very true. Like
It
magic.
also helps with Beyblade X. These things are so much faster than previous generations of Beyblade. The Don't even get me started on like the metal fight and burst era where it was stamina versus stamina fights. Those were the worst.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you're not wrong. That's exactly what I'd said. Where like my buddies had gotten some burst stuff first, and I'm like, absolutely not. you know. And then when I started seeing the X, I'm like, okay, this is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
To be
never.
fair, the birth designs were just also generally awful looking.
Yeah, like what the
There are some
hell?
good ones,
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, they look like a 5-year-old got like paint on his hands and kind of like just slapped it around on a Beyblade and said that's the finished product.
Oh my god, it's so true. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, I never played burst. I only had just a few bursts when I thought it was the new thing, but yeah, there's so many of them that are complete garbage.
And their launchers in Burst are garbage too. Those things are terrible.
Wasn't one of them like a sword or some shit?
It's weird. I think there was a sword one. I just, I had met some other guys who I actually got into X, but they had played Burst before that, so they had a bunch of Burst stuff sitting around. And I mean, some of these things that people are like attaching like three different launchers together, and like you yank it as hard as you can, you still can't get a good pull out of it. Like, I don't know. It's just not. X
Yeah.
is just so clean. I feel like the designs are clean, the launchers are great, the arenas are better. The X rail adds like a lot to attacking that I don't think really existed in previous generations. It's just, I mean, if they wanted to really make an Olympic sport, as you guys alluded to earlier, like this is the generation to give that a shot.
Yeah.
100% agree. Although, when we talk about actual accessories, I'll have something to say about a certain stand coming out that's going to be not great.
Wait,
Well,
wait, I want to hear about this.
yeah, I haven't heard about a stand coming out.
Well, one of the newer stands that they're talking about making has the double X rail launcher. So instead of just the singular one, there will be one on each side.
Oh, the stadium. Okay, stadiums.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw videos of those. That's
Wait,
interesting.
and
what stadium are we talking about? I haven't heard about this.
It got
Is it
released
the
like a
is it
couple
the
weeks
blue
ago.
stadium? It kind of looks like a boat.
yeah,
Yes.
kind of, but the whole gimmick is it's the X rail launches on both sides of the stadium instead of just the one side, like how the stadiums have been for like the longest time, which in theory sounds like it's great for attackers until you realize physics means your attack bay is attacking one side of the stadium only because it keeps hitting the same X rail over and over because it's not like it's gonna cut across unless it hits something.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting. Yeah,
Now,
Very
cause
gimmicky, but
is
I
that
don't hate
stadium
it.
is that stadium out anywhere yet, or is it just we've just seen pictures so far?
no, there was a video that got released during I forgot what event that was like a couple weeks ago. Was that
Yeah,
two
so
weeks?
far we've seen a reveal and they tested it, and yeah, the attack bay they sent on there, because it's shaped like an apple when it has the two X rail launch zones, and so the Beyblade would stick to one half of the apple and would not even attempt to hit the X rail on the opposite side, which that's not great.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. That sounds awkward.
well, we can kind of transition from the stadium new release to what kind of other releases are you guys looking forward to, like bay wise or launchers or whatever?
So I know they have the newest release. It's like a deck set with the new shark. And I've been like looking at videos on that, and I've been just looking at the shark and thinking like, dang, do I really want to spend $50 for this one Beyblade? Because the deck set comes with, I think the CX Hell Scythe 2 again, and then like another, I think it's like Roar Tyranno. It's for so that it's like the Tarakomi release. And I'm like, I already have two Roar Tyrannos. And I'm like thinking like maybe I should pick it up. I want to see how it performs first, because if
Oh,
it's
you're talking about the shark scale set. Oh my
yep,
I
God.
yep.
know
Oh
what you're talking
That
yeah,
about.
has
Yeah.
been all over YouTube is people
all
going, this is the
over.
best new shark in all of Beyblade.
I mean, it's
And
sharp
I'm like,
looking though.
it looks sharp, but I'm like, it's 37 grams. The only
Eh?
question that I always ask when a new Blade. Oh, when a new Bay releases, is that can it handle Wizard Rod's stamina?
That's always the go-to is can it beat Wizard Rod 960 ball?
And it's
Possibly.
like if it can and it can break the meta, then yeah, I'll go buy it. But if I see tests and it's just like, nope, Wizard Rod is still king, I don't know.
I almost struggle. You guys bring that up. I almost struggle to understand why Wizard Rod hasn't been banned from high level competition at this point because I don't feel like that's the only question that you should be able to ask when a new Bay comes out is can it beat Wizard Rod?
Yeah, because
I mean,
we all have TCG experiences, and right when things really start breaking the game, that's where a ban list comes out. And I think the only things that are really banned is obviously Metal Needle. And if I'm not
for obvious
For
reason.
obvious reasons, yeah.
well, yeah, we all
Destroying your stadium.
yeah. But and I want to
I
say Japan does ban Wizard Rod from some tournaments.
I think in
I think
Japan
they
he's banned from
specifically
one on
banned
one.
the combo. I think people are
Oh,
still
yeah.
allowed to use Wizard Rod, but specifically it cannot be on 960 ball.
Yeah, I think uh,
Yeah.
the
But
one-on-ones
so
can't.
again, like I was following like the structure of how so in Japan they have these things called G3 tournaments where you participate and then the top 3 get like special prize bay parts. Like I think for a while maybe like a year ago they were giving out like a golden wizard rod, stuff like that. When the game first came out, they were giving out like gold Dran swords and the bits. But so I believe a G3 tournament works like a bracket, and then you either they have it with, and obviously the formats are different, but they usually just have one-on-one until finals, and then you go uh 3v3 where you go 1 2 3 for the deck set. Now I know over here there's like the WBO, so we have different rules. Like there's deck or there's just order where it's 1 2 3. But mainly in Japan they just do 1v1s, and then any G3 tournaments where that was 1v1 would just be rod mirrors. So then that got boring after a while.
Oh,
So they
yeah,
had
that
to
would get
change the
very
rules.
boring.
So yeah, I can see that. I mean, the rules are a little bit different over here, where it's like, well, we have more flexibility in how like we can play the game in a sense. But I mean, yeah, I don't think in the West we're never gonna ban any parts or like because of the structures that we have and like how the WBO handles like Beyblade events because there's no reason for there to be a rod ban if we're not doing 1v1s, typically speaking, when we're going to like a Beyblade tournament.
Yeah.
I agree, and at worst, I'd say like leave it up to the discretion of the event people to just say, "Hey, we'd prefer you to not run rod on this combo. If you'd like to use it on another combo, we're fine with that. Just not the 960 ball combo." Although I will say, and this is going to be a little controversial in the Beyblade scene, I'm starting to realize that there are Beyblades that are just better than Wizard Rod when it comes to like running up against certain Beyblades, especially. But as I've stated in the Discord server before, I'm kind of leaning towards taking Wizard Rod just entirely out of my deck and side decking it to begin with.
Personally, I prefer Silver Wolf, but that's probably just based on empirical evidence and not actual like it's better. I just like Silver Wolf more,
I
I think.
love Silver Wolf.
I love Silverwolf. Mine is on 960 ball. It's perfectly. I like to take stuff apart and put them back together again in order to get the right color combinations while keeping the parts within the legal parameters. So it's 960. It's not anything weird, but I made sure it's the white 960 outer ring from the Roar Tyranno, the blue one, and then it's the inner blue from the, or it's the 60 from I think it was the Sting Unicorn, so it actually matches the blue of the Beyblade's like spinning gimmick.
Oh shit.
And I agree with you. I really love you know, obviously not just figuring out cool combos, but also color matching the parts in ways that are, you know, I don't know, that pleasant to me.
No,
That's one of my
absolutely.
favorite things.
Yeah, if you could make your bay look a lot more prettier than just slapping bits and parts on it, and then especially it being really good, that's a win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we could technically we could transition into our Beyblades from here because that's a perfect segue right there.
Yeah, what so actually did everyone say what release they're looking forward to? I think
We did not get around to that yet. We kind of
yeah,
drifted
yeah,
off a
we
little
kind of
bit.
Oh, we did.
yeah, so Vile, what release are you looking forward to?
I mean, right now, since it's finally getting into people's hands, now I don't have mine yet. Bays and Bricks has not quite gotten it to me, but I think right now I've got to say the Shark deck set that was just being talked about, just because that Shark does seem pretty exciting based on all the content I've seen on YouTube and some of the Facebook groups about it. Um, Although I will mention, and I know this won't be out until probably late September, early October, at least over here in the States. I do like that new, it's like a space looking bay or something, like the Sun or whatever, Invictus, maybe it's called.
You
Oh,
mean Solar Eclipse?
Yeah,
Solar
there you
Eclipse.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, that one.
It's funny you should mention that because that's the one that I'm most excited for because if anyone listening was a part of the Metal Fight series, Soul was one of the most beautifully painted Beyblades. The red with the orange and the yellow just it popped in stadiums, and if it were good, everyone would have ran it. But unfortunately, its combo and its pieces were just so absolute dog water that no one even bothered with it. But it is such a beautiful Beyblade.
It does look cool. I'm pretty excited for that one, but I know we have a little bit of time to wait before we're gonna see it in our hands. So
Yeah,
just gotta chill.
absolutely. So Chad, were you also going with uh Solar Eclipse?
Soul Eclipse definitely. Obviously, I am interested to see how this new shark does because one thing that not many people talk about, and it definitely needs to be talked about more, is how in Beyblade X, each version of Shark, including the Hasbro, have been absolutely perfect attack types to the point where it's like you don't really need to do much. Like you would think the Hasbro one would be worse because that's typically what people think when it comes to Beyblade, but a lot of people noticed that the Hasbro one was just as good, if not slightly better, just because of the slightly more dampened molding that they did with the Hasbro.
Yeah, cute like Keel Shark. That that's a good bay. It's a beautiful bay. I think probably one of my very first favorite bays, honestly.
I don't blame you. I mean, the funniest thing too is when you really think about it, it came on the perfect combo for it. 360 low flat. All you would have to do if you want to make it even better is low rush, but you can run it straight out the box and it is already like doing better than some combos. Like I still find it funny how Wizard Rod, one of the greatest Beyblades, quote unquote, in X, came with one of the worst
Oh my
bits in the
god.
history of bits.
My God.
It's so bad.
So, guys, real quick, um, Cake, I'm not sure if you've talked about your excited new release yet, but I wanted to ask you guys while we were talking about new releases. Has anyone seen the the new Hasbro like CX Echoes that are supposedly coming?
No.
So I don't know if you guys had seen, but a while ago there were some pictures posted of the fourth Star Wars set, which is supposed to be Chewbacca versus Stormtrooper. And at the same time, there were some pictures leaked of some Hasbro exclusive like CX. I would have to assume they're Echoes, right? And then like there's a picture of the Hasbro like Rock Golem release. None of you
Mhm.
guys saw that?
Uh, Maybe I have.
No, I haven't. I haven't seen anything like that. I'll probably try to look for it. Yeah, but I have not seen like all the Hasbro releases yet. I've just been seeing what Takara Tomi's been releasing. Besides just that deck set, everything else seems kind of like the standard. Like they're gonna release the like more anime stuff base kind of, but I feel like for competitive viability, I feel like that shark deck.
Yeah, and we all know like a lot of those, I guess, collaboration bays, like the Jurassic Park and the Avengers and the Star Wars. Are those the only three?
Jurassic
So
Park,
far.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Transformers,
uh, Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
it's just been those four. But he actually did remind me there is another one that I want to talk about because this will hit home for all the Metal Fight fans. But we did get leaked images of what could be a Horogium Basalt coming to Beyblade X.
What is that? Is that
You'll have
uh
to educate me on that one.
yeah.
Twisted Tempo is, or I think it's Twisted Tempo. It is a Beyblade that became very famous in Metal Fight as being the second heaviest Beyblade ever made. It was an absolute beast of a tall,
Oh,
purely round uh,
it's
metal Beyblade, and what made it famous
yeah.
was there was a staircase inside the Beyblade that made one of its sides hit extremely harder than the rest, which gave it really good counterattack potential.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures of that now. It's like just literally a complete circle.
And
Yeah.
you said this was from Metal Fight? How long ago did this thing originally come out? How old is Metal Fight? I guess I don't even know that because I'm so new to the game.
That's fair. Metal Fight is very, very old. It had 3 seasons, each with a different Beyblade release. The very first season is the one where you had like your Storm Pegasus, your Lightning El Drago, uh, Rock Leone, which was another like crossover bay that we got recently. And
Hmm.
then in the next season, Fusion, that's when we started to get like your Meteor El Dragos. Yeah, all the Beyblades got a slight like boost in power, and that is actually where we got Twisted Tempo and everyone's favorite Beyblade, Flame 230.
I don't know anything about that either.
Yeah, I
Uh, to put it very bluntly, Flame 230 on the tip known as CS or Coat Sharp is in Metal Fight what uh, Wizard Rod 960 Ball is in Beyblade X. It is just you have to run it or you will lose. It's free points.
So like Wizard Rod Senior.
Yes, exactly. And what made the combo unique is Flame was a metal disc that actually sat a little higher than most metal discs. The 230 was the tallest of all the bits in Beyblade, or of all the I guess you'd call them ratchets. They weren't called ratchets back then, but that's the closest to what it was. And Coat Sharp is very comparable to one of those new bits we got. I forget the name, but it's that really tall one where it's got rubber on the outside and then a plastic round on the inside. I forget what they call it in X, but it's that new one that is going to be released on a Beyblade that everyone's been talking about. That really, really tall bit.
oh yeah.
And what made Flame 230 CS one of the most dominating combos is because it sits up so high, attack types have, unless an attack type is tall enough, it is not reaching the metal disc and thus not tipping it over. Because of Coat Sharp, it's hard to hit out of the arena because it's on a really good balance bit, and the rubber stops it from like taking huge hits. And then what because it's so tall, as soon as it started slowing down and toppling, it would literally like destabilize another on top of another Beyblade and just absolutely knock the stamina out of it, like a hammer dropping on a nail.
That's wild.
That is wild. Um, Also, side note, guys. Speaking of wild, I posted the pictures I was talking about
Yeah.
in the chat.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh, Hornet is gonna be that's gonna be something.
yeah, because this most recent wave, it looks like that they've kind of leaked is that Stormtrooper Chewbacca Star Wars license set, and then the Golem Rock is coming over, the Fox Brush is coming over, but then those other three, those look like echoes to me. I assume they have to be echoes, right?
Yes, though those are Hasbro versions of Takara Beyblades that we've already gotten.
Honestly, I just like the colors to be maybe not Wiggle Kraken. That's a wild name, by the way. Wiggle Crack. Of all the things I can imagine a Kraken doing, like wiggling around is not one of them. But I'm not a huge fan of those colors. But the Fort Hornet, those colors are dope. Like I
Oh
love that
yeah.
yellow. I love like the little beehive like emblems around the like. It looks so on theme. And then the antler, maybe not quite as cool, but I do love the colors. I
Oh, the
like that
colors
pink
are
purple.
beautiful.
And I'm actually astounded. Like it's not a surprise we're gonna get Rock Golem soon. Like Golem's been out for a little bit now, but I'm surprised we're gonna get Fox Brush so fast.
Oh, it's gonna shake things up, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Everyone has been talking about how Fox Brush is really good. Obviously, I don't need to talk about how good Golem is. We all know it's good. It's a low defense type on an even lower defense bit. Like whoever created that knew exactly what they were doing.
Which is good. But
So you guys are gonna have to show me sometime because I must not be doing Fox Brush right because I just get trounced every time I play that thing. And I'm not talking about against like top tier competitive players at Kraken Hits or one of Akuna's events. I'm talking about I'm playing with my buddies very casually, and they're just smoking my Fox Brushes.
hmm,
We can definitely help with that. The combo is obviously the most important factor, but also how you're launching it can also determine why it's not serving you as well as it should.
true.
And that's totally fair. I have to be very frank and upfront with you guys. I am very new to this, and while I do have just a huge amount of Beyblades at this juncture. Most of the time, I'm just playing with my buddies in their garage or their basement. We're just mostly ripping stock combos, or you know, some of my are getting to the point where they're doing kind of like homemade combos, but like no one's really researching. You know what I'm saying? No one's like, oh, what won over in Japan or the Philippines last week? We aren't at that point yet. At least not when playing for fun with each other. You know?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
completely fair.
I know me personally, I got my competitive deck, then I also got the just a really fun deck. That's me personally. I don't know about you guys if that's what you guys also have. Oh,
Uh-oh.
I mean, he probably just
We
lost
lost
connection.
Martin.
Yeah, he probably just lost connection because when he was talking, he was kind of breaking up. But we'll just kind of keep her going. But for the release for me personally, I am looking forward to Samurai Caliber. It's
Oh, yes.
it it just looks very sharp. It looks very clean, and the colors, the purple with like the aqua blue. I'm looking at it right now, and it just looks so good on
Is that that
670.
Is that booster that's kind of come out at the same time as the deck set over in Japan?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I ordered one of each from Basin Bricks, and my Samurai Caliber, actually, it's funny you should mention it, just shipped and should be here. I think they said Wednesday,
Oh,
but my deck set hasn't shipped yet. So
you said Bays and
hopefully
Bricks.
Wednesday. Yeah, Basin Bricks.
Oh,
That's
Bays
I
and
think that's the only. That's the only one I order from here in the States. I either go if I'm gonna just be lazy and order here in the States, I go through Bays and Bricks.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm gonna order overseas, then I usually go through a proxy like Buy Years End Market.
Okay.
That
That's
nothing
fair.
wrong with that. As
No.
someone who's bought from Bays and Bricks, though, obviously just read very carefully what you're buying, because one of my friends who used to join our Minnesota teams a lot and has since gone super quiet because of work and stuff. His first Beyblades were from Bays and Bricks. He bought Metal Fight ones, but they were the fake ones with all that delicious,
Ooh.
delicious brain rotting iron and
Ew.
other hazardous chemicals in it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've kind of found from most of the like US based suppliers of TT stuff is like you're normally fine if you're ordering like new release X stuff. You just have to watch for the region. We know that most people prefer to redeem out of Japan just because it's easier to proxy them over here. A little harder to do it in Taiwan or Hong Kong. It is doable, but it is tougher. So I think that's what I look for on those types of sites with the X stuff. But I have heard what you just alluded to, that a lot of the Metal Fight stuff on those types of sites are mid fakes. That
Yeah.
seems to be a very
Exactly.
prominent thing.
Also, Wayward said merge. That is the bit that I was talking about. The new one that'll be part rubber, part plastic. That will be merged, and it will be very interesting how that may or may not shake up the meta.
Yeah. It it could be another one of those elevate bits that everyone is just gonna scrounge up for, or it could be I don't see it happening, but it could be just one of those basic overproduced bits. But we'll see at the end of the day because it's not out yet.
Now, is
Exactly.
is that on Samurai Caliber? Or is that on something else?
No, merge is on Chad. Do you know? I'm blanking.
I
Oh,
don't remember off the top of my head, but it's one of
um,
the newer releases.
yeah, it is.
One thing is for sure, though, it is tall enough that a lot of shorter bays, including the new Shark, are small enough to hit the bit itself. So I feel there will be just as long as you get something like a Ratchet Snipe Beyblade, i- in theory, you should be able to knock the bit off and get a win that way. But it's hard to say without having actually tested it.
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, it's supply, 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 and demand and other shit like that. So we'll
Yeah, I
see.
mean
We'll see.
the elevate's still tough. You
Oh
know,
my
I
god.
mean, like I talked about earlier, the tide whales are being scalped over here for sure. And there are other ways I know in Japan to get the elevate bit. I think it was in a random booster with a yellow Leon crest maybe, and then it's
Yeah.
also in the mammoth tusk. But I think the mammoth tusk was that was like a prize bay, wasn't it? So it wasn't like, I'm not saying it was Arrow Pegasus level prize bay, but it wasn't the most accessible either. You can't just walk into a store and buy it, right?
Right.
It started that way, but now it's becoming more easily accessible thanks to Karatomi releasing it as just a standoff bay instead of just a prize bay. So
Oh,
it
did
is
they? Did
it
they?
is
Okay,
becoming more accessible, absolutely. And of course, Mammoth Tusk in the black and pink just that goes hard.
It
it's
does.
it's beautiful. It's
It's so
beautiful.
too bad it's just not really good. It's pretty, but it's really
Hey,
not.
that pink elevate bit's good though. I love that pink elevate bit. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
again, it's pretty, but not for the price.
So
But
real
not
quick,
yet.
guys, I know you wanted to segue, but I want to try to give Martine a minute or two to get back.
He said that
So,
he had stuff come up, so he just had to dip out.
Yeah, he said he had to dip for now. So
oh, that's that,
Yep. So,
that's totally fair. Can I ask you guys one more thing? And it's not quite a new release anymore, but I'm curious what your guys' opinions are on the newest rare prize get bay whatever from Japan. I don't know exactly what the translation is, but the Vika Volt or whatever it's called. Um, that chip. What do you guys think about that chip specifically? Because doesn't that chip weigh like a few grams because it's metal?
Yes, it does. Good for the CX line if you like CX, but as someone who has tested a couple of CX bays versus like your normal standard line of X Beyblades, I aside from Blast Pegasus, which may end up changing things, I feel like the whole line has been kind of a bummer.
So I think my I think my I think the actual question and what I'm trying to get an opinion on from you guys on this is that lock chip has weight to it because it's metal.
Right.
Do and I know there was a lot of him and Han and a little bit of hoopla about, first it was, oh, Cobalt Drake is kind of pay to win. Then it was definitely, oh, Aero Pegasus is, definitely kind of pay to win. But there were a lot of other attack bays like Phoenix, for instance, that were very accessible during that same time frame. That's whose performance was very similar to Aero Pegasus. But are we looking at a pay to win situation where they release a metal lock chip that gives you several extra grams on a rare prize get bay that you can then take the lock chip from and put on any CX bay? Is that are we in a pay to win situation with that? You guys feel like?
Ooh, that's a damn. Um,
Um,
I don't think.
yes and no.
Yeah.
It all depends on how the CX line goes, because again, um, the way the CX line has been so far with all the extra bits is it's been very, very middling. I haven't seen many CX bays do well. Once we get to a point where CX bays are like starting to become a problem, like like Blast Blast Pegasus, for example, if it ends up being the replacement for Rod, like a lot of people have been saying, 100%, that's going to be like the most sought after piece since, well, Elevate.
Kate, did you have any thoughts on that?
It's gonna be different, but I don't think a metal chip is gonna make a really big difference. But again, CXs are still relatively new. I personally only buy CX just for the parts. I don't have any CX, especially in my deck, and I don't see myself, at least in the future, running a CX in my deck. But only time will tell on that one.
I will also clarify though, the reason I say that is in Metal Fight, you guys weren't familiar with the Metal Fight era, so the one thing to note about Metal Fight is like 90% of Metal Fight bays, the second metal metal chips, I guess is I can't remember the exact name, but obviously we had something that you'd screw in on the top of the Beyblade to keep it all together. Um, Once we got metal versions of those, you saw those in 90% of decks with varying different weights. The heaviest ones always being on attack Beyblades and light ones being on stamina slash more defensive Beyblade. So if CX does in fact start to challenge like the original series and like the rest of the Beyblade X ones, then unfortunately, yes, it will become almost necessary to have like a metal chip.
And that's not a cheap one. I mean, everything I've seen from Bai and Zen Market, I mean that bay is going for 250 to 300. And from what I've seen, the listings broken up into individual components, the chip is the one that has the vast majority of the value. No one cares about the actual bay; they care about that chip.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened in the Metal Fight series as well. Is you needed that metal because that extra weight meant the difference between your Beyblade hitting hard enough to knock another Beyblade out, or losing the clash matchup and getting knocked out instead.
So just something interesting to think about, and maybe that's something we could address more fully in a future episode. Is just how people feel about some of these rare get bays and the prices behind them. That's just an interesting topic to talk about, I feel like.
Yeah, I like
Oh,
it.
always.
Because wasn't Fox Brush also a prize or
No, Foxbrush was a random booster.
okay.
There were three configurations,
Okay, maybe
and
that's what I'm
obviously one
thinking
of
of.
them was the prize.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Okay. Well, anyway,
But Yeah, we probably got to move on because
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to be on that all day.
Yeah, I mean, we're already past an hour, which is totally fine. This has been a really good conversation, and our new viewers are getting to know us, and they also probably have ideas and thoughts about everything else that we are talking about. So, I think the last question is, what are in your guys' decks right now? Your competitive decks.
Well, I'd love to start us off because I've been doing a lot of testing recently. Unfortunately, my only downside for testing is my personal stadium is a Hasbro one,
Oh,
which those prefer attack types. But I have been able to go to like for us in Minnesota, the Kraken hits, and I've been able to use their stadiums and their setup
mm-hmm.
whenever whenever I've gone there to visit. So I have 4 bays in my deck, and by that I mean I have 3 bays, but I have one that is side decked that can switch places with one of the Beyblades in my regular deck, and I wouldn't bat an eye.
Right.
So, starting off with my pride and joy, my absolute most favorite Beyblade to use in any stadium is Hover Wyvern 760 Hexa. Oh my goodness, this bay has done so much work for me. In all my testings, it has done everything from outspinning Wizard Rod to being able to counter and pocket both Dran Buster as well as Impact Drake, which is no small feat for a Beyblade to be able to accomplish, especially on a more regular basis.
And that sounds incredibly cool. Hover Wyvern for me was a surprise. Like I didn't expect it to perform the way that it does. When it first came out, I bought that set immediately just because it had a new bay in it, and that's how I am. But I didn't expect it to perform the way that it does. It's crazy.
Exactly. That Pringle shape does a lot of work to make it like hit like an absolute monster truck.
So what else you got in there? I know you
Yeah.
got more than one.
Yep.
Oh yes. Moving on, we've got my one of my most beautiful looking Beyblades in the set and my other personal favorite, Silver Wolf 960 Ball. It works almost exactly like Wizard Rod, but because of the free spinning bit on Silver Wolf, I've noticed it's able to take more destabilizing hits from other Beyblades and able to spin just that little bit extra longer in order to get spin finishes. But most of the time, it is getting some nasty counterattacks, especially against like Keel Shark or Drawn Buster or any of these other like really hard hitting bays. It's been able to take those hits pretty nicely. And in fact, during one of my testings, it actually managed to land on the top of the arena after getting hit by Impact Drake, stood up there for 5 seconds, came back down, and immediately bursted Drawn or Impact Drake as it was starting to slow down, like landed directly on top of it, like it was a Dragon Ball Z fight. So
That's awesome.
definitely a personal favorite.
See, and I hear that now. I think you were fighting in the Drop Attack Stadium.
That's the funny thing. This was the TT Stadium.
Oh, okay. So you were at Kraken Hits then. Okay, I get you.
Yep. Most of my official testing I do at Kraken Hits whenever I can now because the Hasbro Stadium is nice, but it is way too thin to really get a feel for how a Beyblade combo is going to work in like the official TT stadiums.
Right.
I don't disagree. I think the Hasbro Stadium actually is, and maybe people disagree. I think it's a great introduction for like people you're trying to show the game to because I feel like there's a ton of action in it, and new players like, oh my god, they're colliding so much. But yeah, when it comes to tournament play, the TT Stadium is definitely the standard, and it does just play a little different.
Oh,
Uh, It it
1000%.
plays a
In
lot
fact,
of different.
Well, yeah, a lot of different. That's probably a more accurate
yeah.
statement.
Fun fact, that is how I got my buddy AJ into Beyblades, is I showed him not only how the new X Beyblades are, but I showed them how they launch in the X Stadium and now or in the Hasbro Stadium. Now he has his own set of Beyblades, including what he wants to bring to the next tournament me and him go to, which again, he's got Impact Drake, he's got Drawn Buster, he's got his own Wizard Rod. He's all set for the next tournament, and we've been practicing as much as possible. So
That's what's up.
um, speaking of which, that goes on to my last two Beyblades, which are the interchangeable ones. That being Wizard Rod 560 level, or if I'm feeling a little more risque, slash, I want to have a little bit more extra fun, I have the Red Zord Beyblade, aka Tyranno Beat 360 Kick.
Again, kick is just such a good bay.
Kick is such a great bit, but especially on Tyranno Beat, it gives it some nice defense while still giving it the ability to hit as hard as it needs
Oh
to.
yeah, it'll hit you like a
Um,
truck.
exactly. Plus, you never it fits thematically because, of course, if you're going to die to a Tyranno, it's going to be it kicking you directly in the face.
Right.
I just
But
like Beyblades that are a little more unpredictable. I think that kind of stuff is fun.
exactly, which is why I tend to prefer, as I've mentioned in the Beyblade server before, I actually kind of prefer my Tyranno to the Wizard. The Wizard on level is a little too safe for an attack type, I guess is the best way to put it. Like it's going to do good on level because level is an attack bit with crazy stamina and a decent amount of LAD, so it's going to be just fine. If it doesn't get the KO, it's going to spin finish unless it's against Wizard Rod on 960 ball. But I've noticed in my testing it has been able to KO 960 ball and even ratchet snipe it from time to time, which is why I it's still in the deck for me, but Tyranno here has not been a slouch either, and I think one of the most impressive feats I got from testing was against Drawn Buster, and at the time my friend was had his own low flat from a booster set that came with like the Hasbro version of the shark, which I think was like Bite Crocodile, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And they clashed, and Tyranno hit Drawn Buster so hard it completely broke his low flat bit. It took an entire piece of plastic off the bottom, and as compensation, I had to give him my Keel Shark combo with the low flat to be like, hey man, I'm so sorry.
Oh
My
Jesus.
Tyranno absolutely destroyed your bit to the point it can't be used in tournament play.
All
All
right.
I can tell you, man, is with Beyblade X, that can happen like anytime. I
Oh yeah.
literally like the last, I don't know, I think it was Monday. So within the last week, I had my buddy had just picked up a Tricera press and he was just running it, 100% stock. We were just messing around and I had brought out a Phoenix and just a default configuration Phoenix, and he had totally just torn up my bit with the Tricera press. Just, I mean, just broke it. Like, and I was like, good thing I've got a lot of Phoenix. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and good thing it's
But
not a
the
very
reason
hard.
I felt the reason I felt so bad for him is we had just put together his quote unquote tournament combo set. So this was us just practicing for a tournament. And the first time he goes to test the Beyblade, the bit gets absolutely chomped down by my Tyranno. And it's like, oh, that stinks. That sucks so much.
well, it's good you took care of him. I mean, that shows you're a good friend, and him enjoying the game is important to you.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
always
absolutely.
good to bring more friends into it. And yeah, you destroyed his bay, but you made it worth it.
Exactly. What's funny about that is now that he is into Beyblade, he has been putting his 3D printer into overdrive.
Oh
He has
God.
quite a few like Beyblade holding boxes. He's been printing grips for Beyblade X. He printed out some bits for him to practice before actually buying the bits themselves. And of course, he now has one of those rotating deck boxes.
I'm not gonna lie, brother. I have a 3D printer, and I have printed a couple deck boxes. I haven't found one that I love yet, but I have found some like little Beyblade display holders that I like to put like my metal coat stuff that I'm not gonna play. Put that up for display.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, somebody from the server, I think they're not from Minnesota. I think they're from Nebraska. Had sent me a file of something they had personally designed a handle, and it is the handle I use for everything. Like, it's great.
Yeah,
The 3D printer has been really cool in conjunction with Beyblade, because I used to use it for Warhammer, and now I'm just using it for
Ooh.
Beyblade. So
All right, so I might need to hit you
smart.
up then and
Why
help.
why buy $500 metal minis when you can 3D print your own metal minis for like 1/100th of the price?
Yeah, no
well, I had
kidding.
I had a couple resin printers for that, but I mean, I still had a lot of official Warhammer stuff. But I had resin printers. Sometimes there'd be certain things that were out of print, or they were just way, way too expensive. For the Beyblade stuff, I just use the PLA plastic printer because I'm not
Perfect.
printing. I'm not printing stuff to. I'm not printing bits and trying to sneak them into an event. I just want cool display holders and cool handles and cool deck boxes. And it's been a lot of fun. Um,
Absolutely.
I guess I will go and let Cake Eater finish because my deck is going to be very disappointing. And by that I mean I don't actually have a competitive deck because I haven't really gone to any events yet. And that sounds crazy, probably because I already have my WBO judge certification and all that. I did that within like the first month. But
Wow, good for you.
um
Congrats.
yeah, I mean, I was down visiting my folks in Florida and I was bored. Like I just went on and took it on a whim and I passed and that was the end of it. But um so I don't really have a deck to talk about. I will just briefly touch on I really like, and this is gonna sound super strange. I really like Night Mail. That's been one of my favorites, and I've kind of messed around with the exact configuration, but I really enjoyed Night Mail. It's a lot of fun, and in fact, I think on Monday I've got an order coming in from Zen Market where I've got a couple Metal Coat Night Mails, probably one for play and one for display. So I'm super
Nice.
excited for that. Um, and I have liked Impact Drake. It just I just like how it hits. I have a lot of fun with it, and just screwing around with my buddies. It's been really enjoyable. But I think my favorite bay, and people probably laugh at me because I do think it is objectively subpar in comparison to other tack types, is Crimson Garuda is definitely my favorite bay, like
Oh no,
100%.
Crimson Garuda that's an underrated gem right there. The same
Fire
with Night Mail.
chicken.
I've seen quite a few people actually top not only their locals but like WBO sanctioned events with Crimson Garuda. So don't worry. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Your deck, like I've done, me and my friends and other people have done like rankings, but like what tier Beyblades would be, and I would say you don't have anything lower than a B tier. Like I'd say Crimson Garuda is like A tier, and that's the lowest. Obviously, Impact Drake is up there with like some of the best attack types, and people are starting to realize Night Mail is actually like really good as like a balance type because of that weight and the fact that it's like dispersed so nicely within the Beyblade.
That's totally fair. I guess if I had a fourth, because you have the alternate or whatever, and this is hyper meta, and so now I was being a little creative, and now I'm gonna sound like a prick, but I love Cobalt Dragoon on Elevate. I can't lie, I love it.
No, that's
I
fair.
can't blame you for that.
It's meta.
I think all my buddies, they are slowly starting to get into buying some Japanese TT stuff and whatever. But at first, it was kind of mostly all Hasbro stuff for them, just stuff they could get locally for a reasonable price. And so there's a lot of Wizard Rod running around because it's a Hasbro release. It's pretty easily accessible. You can walk into almost any GameStop in the state and grab one. Um, and so I'm like, well, I got to do something about this. So Cobalt Dragoon with Elevate came out.
Right.
Yeah,
Hey.
I totally get that. But
Yeah.
also, as someone who's been doing a lot of combo testing too, I have no qualms helping you build like an actual like tournament ready deck for you, like how I did for my friend AJ. Like it's pretty simple, but
I would
you know,
actually love that. I'm actually at the point, and I'll try to make this quick so Kate can get on with his thing and we can wrap it up. But I'm in the place now where I have too many Beyblades, and I'm kind of overwhelmed.
Huh.
good news is that means you have a lot of parts for us to combine stuff together for to make you the best deck we can.
Yep, absolutely.
That's totally fair. Cake on to you, brother.
All right. So I also have one for a side deck because I've been to tournaments where you need 5, and also if you make top 8, um, you can use 5. So I have 4 right now, and I'm like intermixing with the 5th right now. So that's kind of up in the air right now. But for my first one, I am also using Wizard Rod 360 level. This thing hits once it goes off the X rail, and then it also just sits. It doesn't have a lot of stamina once it does that, but once it hits, it hits you. So it's beautiful. And then same thing like Chad. I'm also running Silver Wolf on 960 ball. This thing has
It's a surprisingly good combo.
it has so much stamina. It is stupid. And then the underwheel, it has just defense on it. It's so good. And my last one, I actually picked this up from the last Kraken Hits tournament that I was a part of. It is Golem Rock, one what is it? 160 wedge.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Man, this thing hits, and then it also has so much stamina. It's so good.
Also, there's a secret function that your Beyblade has that you may not know about or haven't gotten to fully utilize, which is one ratchets, especially 160 ratchets, have been very consistently known for unpocketing the Beyblade that it's attached to. So that
Oh
unrock golem
yes.
is
Yes.
very smart.
And then for my fourth and final one, it's probably one of my favorite bays to date. It is Samurai Saber on 360 Hexa.
Ooh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, it has so much defense, and it just sits in the center, and the metal swords underneath, it just chunks out the opponents and calls it a day. I
Basically recreating Mr. Miyamoto Musashi as a Beyblade with his double sword attack combination.
Very true. All right. So I think the final thing that we're going to talk about are events coming on to Minnesota for the rest of this month of August 2025. There are 2 events. Um, the 23rd of August. The first one is at Kraken Hits. It is in Friendly, Minnesota. That starts at 2 p.m. and doors open normally an hour beforehand, but people start showing up about noon o'clock or so. So I do plan on being at that one. Then there's also one in the downtown Minneapolis Central Library. It is the Minnesota August Ambush. That starts at 11 a.m. So unfortunately, you can't do both of them because going from Minneapolis, doing that whole tournament, and then driving all the way to Friendly, impossible unless you drop out like halfway through the library one. But either way, 2 events coming on next weekend, the 23rd of August, 2025. I personally plan on being at the Kraken Hits. What about you guys?
The one at the library, is that one that Akuna's hosting?
Let me take a look.
Because
Yes. Yes, it is.
because I believe he normally hosts at the library.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll. And what date did you say they were?
They are next Saturday, the 23rd.
Yeah, I wish I could go to one of them. I have not been to a tournament event yet where I've actually played in. Unfortunately, I got my Pokemon Go Max finale, whatever, next weekend, so I do not have time to go to the cities to play Beyblade. But if I could, I definitely go to Akuna's event at the library.
Yeah.
And that's mostly just me saying that to shout out to Akuna because I'm not sure I would have gotten into Beyblade the way I did if he hadn't been willing to kind of teach me the ropes a little bit. I feel like he's gone above and beyond to be like friendly and personable with me. And yeah, he's just a great guy.
Yeah. I think probably out of like, especially since we've all talked about it, we've been all into TCGs and everything. I personally think Beyblade's community is top tier. Like everyone is so welcoming, and
100%.
it's so dumb how welcoming everyone is in this Beyblade community. It's so dumb, but it's so great compared to um, people thinking they're better than everyone else in any TCG. Because Yu-Gi-Oh was my big thing back in the day, and you had so many people that thought they were so much better. They were the next king of games and other shit like that. But
The next king of games. That's wonderful.
No, he's got a point though. I've gone to locals. I've gone to like local card shops and seeing how people play Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, and you'd think they're the next Yami Yugi when in fact they still don't know how to bathe or shower properly.
oh my god,
Oh, I mean,
we can definitely
I've
talk about that the next podcast. But yeah,
yeah, I was
absolutely.
gonna say, like, listen, I know that's prevalent in the TCG community, but I had one of the TOs, I won't name names, tell me that that has been a problem sometimes at Beyblade too. So
It, it makes sense. Depending on how hard you're ripping those Beyblades, you are gonna work up quite the sweat.
Well, and whenever,
absolutely.
yeah, a small room with so many people just close together, yeah, it's gonna happen. But I think the hygiene is a lot well, I say it's better than TCGs, but that
I would agree. And what I'd also say is at least the TOs that I am familiar with have been much more willing to just to openly address it. To put out, like, hey guys, let's make sure we're showering, putting on deodorant, all that, and then also just pulling people, that have kind of repeat habitual offenders aside and just talking to them quietly, like, hey, bro, you got to shower before you come. And I think that's half the battle
Exactly.
is just having someone in the community who's willing to say those types of things because a lot of people don't like confrontation. They don't want to tell someone, hey man, like I don't want to be mean, but sorry, you kind of stink, you know?
the library is metal fight. What I thought that was X.
Oh, is it? It
That's
might be. I know Akuna's been playing for a long time, so
oh, hey, yeah. Okay, so I do stand corrected. The Minneapolis Central Library tournament on the 23rd. It is a metal fight slash fusion.
Yep,
Oh, so
I just saw that too.
yeah. Hey, Wayward, I appreciate you letting me know that, buddy. So
has
I'm
Wayward been watching the whole time?
yes, sir.
Yep,
Wayward is a straight G. He's a great guy outside of
he's
the
been
world.
helping correct us when we didn't know the correct answer or
Yeah.
had an idea of the correct answer but couldn't think of the name.
So wait, so since he's been being a G, he's the guy who makes the stadium stands, right?
Um, I don't know. He can answer that himself. But as so, Wayward, do you make the stands? I know he's a judge and he plays, and he's a really good player, really solid guy. But anyway, what were we talking about before?
We were talking about what if we're going to upcoming tournaments, and
Oh no, we were
I'm
talking about
hoping
hygiene.
yes,
That too.
that
Yeah,
too.
like I hate to say it, but we're grown adults. Shower people. Put on some of that DO for your BO. It's not it's not expensive. Go to the dollar store, go to Family Dollar, do whatever. Wash your ass. That goes with any group
Seriously.
gathering. Hey, I'm being blunt. Any group
No,
gathering,
I know. It's
concerts.
funny talking about this because like Yu-Gi-Oh had such a bad
Oh my
hygiene problem.
god.
Yu-Gi-Oh made official like bathing merch, and it's like Beyblade, let's not do the same thing.
No.
I mean, the fact that the Smash Brothers community had like such a problem with it that like they had to go around handing people deodorant sticks at their tournaments. Let's not do that.
Oh, I didn't
No, I
hear
mean
that. That's wild.
but I agree 100%. Listen, if people have the money to go out and buy an Aero Pegasus from Japan, they have the money to buy some shower gel and some deodorant. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I mean, I
yeah.
get it to an extent where, like, for some people, because I've noticed there have been people in the community with various levels of disabilities, and I can understand how that may or may not affect being able to have good regular hygiene. But at the very least, ha- do all the stuff that you need to before the tournament, and then go back to like being your typical bed rotting self when you're not around people.
Yeah. Just and that goes any group gathering, concerts, hobby get-togethers, so TCGs, Beyblades, literally anything that you're in close quarters with other people, be courteous, shower beforehand, put some DO, make yourself look presentable. At least do us all a favor. I think we'd all appreciate it. Cause
Agreed.
I really don't want Beyblade to have the smelly reputation like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or anything else like that. That's
For real, I should not have to go to like a Beyblade tournament and be like, it's time for my Beyblade special move, Febreze aerosol.
Oh my God.
I'm dead.
All I can think of is the Yu-Gi-Oh, because you guys are talking about Yu-Gi-Oh so much, the entrance theme where it's like your move, and like someone for their moves like putting on deodorant. Like,
Yes,
Oh
I
my
know exactly
god.
what you're talking about.
That's incredible.
I play my trap card, Speed Stick Fresh Scent. Like,
Oh my god.
man, gotta have some fun sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. So
Yes,
I could see this podcast definitely going places for that's for sure. But I think we are going to start wrapping it up because man, we've been live for over an hour and a half now.
hey, that's good though, because that means we've got a lot to talk about and some content for people to really think on,
Absolutely.
including the hygiene. I'm looking at you, some of you viewers who probably sit at home and bed rot all the time. You need to wear deodorant.
Oh my god. But yeah, we could definitely
I
talk
mean,
about that another probably in the next episode or something else like that.
yeah, an hour and a half's crazy, bro. But like, I agree with you. I think it was good, and I feel like we could have easily talked for another hour and a half and still had plenty more to talk about. So,
Yeah, just
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, Beyblade is just a great activity. So much stuff and especially having great minds. This podcast is definitely going to go places. So, we are going to try to upload these hopefully once every other week or so, but the schedule is still all up in the air right now. But other than that, I think we are all set, guys.
Perfect.
All right, guys. So until next time, this is the Spin Zone podcast, and hopefully you guys have a great